Hey, what is going on YouTube? My name is James and welcome back to another video. Today we're actually going to be doing episode 5 of itsKibble Talks Watch. Before we get started, a few things to cover. First of all, I'm recording on the GoPro again, so sorry if the quality or audio is a little bit off. Also, it's very early in the house, so if you hear a load of people walking in and out of bedrooms, please forgive me, but it is early morning, everyone's getting up and ready. So before we get started, customary wristwatch check. I am wearing the Citizen Eagle 7. Now this actually relates to the video topic today, which is cheap vintage watches. But before we get into that, again, I just want to say a huge thank you to Grobnob. I'll leave a link to his channel down below if you don't know who he is. He actually gave me a shout out and I noticed a quick spike in subs, so thank you very much and welcome to all you new people from his channel. Real quickly, my name's James, this is my channel and I do watch related videos on here. I do this series called itsKibble Talks Watches, and pretty much, if you know who Theo and Harris is, they do Ask T and H, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty much identical to that because that's actually where I got the idea from. I'm not gonna claim like I'm original or anything. It's a very cool and like solid idea, so I kind of took it in a sense, but I like to give credit where credit's due. I also do watch reviews on this channel where I review whichever watches I've bought in, because all the watches that I review are either my watches or watches that I bought off eBay really cheap to sell on and hopefully get a profit, because that's what I do. And yeah, that's it really. There's not really much else to this channel, so I hope you enjoy your stay. If you do, make sure you leave a like on the videos, it really does help. Now, as I said, I do watch reviews on here. I've got a few watches quickly to show you that I plan on reviewing soon. To start off, there's these two watches right here. I have this Accurist, which is a 50s, not 50s, sorry, a 70s Accurist, gold-plated, very nice watch. I'll be reviewing this watch, which is a Lefer. It was stated as a men's watch, although I think it's either women's or unisex because of how small it is. But yeah, I'll be reviewing this soon. Also, a subscriber sent me, his name's Haran, by the way, sent me this fake Rolex. So I'll be doing a quick look at this, although it's a very clear fake, so there's not going to be much on this. It's just going to be having a look and having a bit of laugh with it. But yeah, thank you very much for sending it in, and I'll do a little video on it soon. I still need to do a review on these two quartz pieces. This is my Seconda and my Over Accurist. These are much more dress watches. Apart from the Seconda, it's very much a tool watch. But these are sort of ones that are going to be used when I have no other watches to review, because at the end of the day, they're quartz. Not that there's anything wrong with quartz, it's just I'd rather focus on maybe automatics or manual winding whilst I have them in, and leave these as like an emergency watch review. And then finally, the piece that I got in recently and I did an unboxing of, the Alpha Submariner with a blue dial. I'll be reviewing this soon as well. I've had a lot of wrist time with this watch, and yeah, I'll give all my opinions and full honesty about this homage watch. Yes, it's a complete rip-off of the Rolex Submariner, and I understand that a lot of people don't like that, and I'm going to review it very unbiased. Okay, so now that's all out of the way, let's get on with today's video. Also, I'm sorry about my hair. I've not done it, so it's just kind of falling all over the place, but who cares, right? We're talking about watches, not hair, so let's get on with it. So today we're going to be talking about cheap vintage watches. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean watches that are from below the 80s, I want to say, like below the 80s, so like 50s, 60s, 70s, obviously 30s, 20s, all everything below the 80s, as I said. That's my definition of vintage. Now, cheap is what I'm referring to based on sort of £50 or less. Now, the reason being is because I consider that cheap, and I think a lot of people would also consider that cheap. Now, if you're a kid and you're only getting like pocket money here and there, that's not cheap to you, but in the sort of grand scheme of things, that is very cheap. Okay, don't mind the sunglasses. I've literally put that there to keep my hair back because it keeps falling on my face and doing my head in, so please forgive me. Now, the best place to get cheap watches, in my opinion, is eBay. Now, there's going to be a few things I'm going to cover here, like how to make sure you don't get ripped off and what to look out for and all that kind of stuff, but let's just get straight into it. Now, I want to use the term that Grobnob used in his live stream when he actually gave me a shout out. He says that I review pretty much pocket money watches. That was his exact quote, and I think that's a great way to explain it. Pocket money watches. At the end of the day, this watch right here cost me £12 on eBay. That's including postage. £12 for this 70s Citizen Eagle 7 with a Jubilee bracelet. Like, that is ridiculous. Now, these go for around £50 on eBay. I've seen them easily go for £50 on eBay. So it just goes to show, if you keep an eye out, you can get a quality watch for really cheap. Now, just to further my point, this Seconda, which is a keeper in my collection now, cost me £13 off eBay. I recently did a review of this, so go check it out. This Lefer cost me like a £5. And then this piece, which is just a beauty, a 70s Accurist. You know, it's gold plated, really nice white dial, gold accents, it's manual winding, it's just a beautiful watch, sub-second dial at the bottom. This cost me £14, so it just goes to show you can get some really nice quality watches for really cheap. Now, there's some people in this watch community here on YouTube, I'm not going to mention any names, who as soon as you say the word cheap, they associate it with crap, or rubbish, or quartz, or fashion, or whatever. I 100% don't agree with that at all in the slightest, because this watch right here, the Eagle 7, has never been serviced. It's never been serviced, and it's from the 70s. It looks incredible, as in immaculate condition. Now, is it hard to find pieces of this quality? No, it isn't, because there's so many of them that were produced around that time that people are constantly flogging them. It's like your Seiko 5s. You can almost guarantee there's about 50 of them being sold a day from all over the world. Now, you got to be careful with your vintage pieces buying off eBay. Now, I don't want to really put a whole country under scrutiny, but there are certain places where you want to be careful buying from, and that being India and, from what I can tell, Bulgaria. Now, it sounds really weird, they're two completely different places, but India and Bulgaria, now they do this thing called people call them Frankenstein watches, where they take parts out, put different parts in, they replace the dial, paint the dial, all that kind of stuff, and you want to be careful of that. And I've noticed, and as many other people as is known across the watch community, India and Bulgaria seem to be doing a lot of that. If not all of the watches from there are kind of going through that process, so just be careful. If I was you, I'd buy from your own country. I always select UK only, just because I know it's coming from the UK and it's going to be shipped closely, which means if there's any problems, you're on the same time zone, they're easy to contact, and they're easy to get your watch sent back and your money back if anything goes wrong. Now, be careful of people who put in the description no refund no matter what kind of thing, because if there is a problem with the watch, you're not getting your money back, and that's not the seller's problem, and that's not the seller's fault or anything, because they're just covering their own back. Not because they're selling a dodgy product, but because they're covering their own back, because there's certain people out there, and I'm experiencing it right now because I recently sold the Orient. I'll put a picture up on screen. I recently sold this watch, and the video, it shows the dial was perfectly fine, everything's perfectly fine. He got the watch, and now it was 5 days later when he contacted me upon arrival that it's damaged, it's got a massive chip in the crystal, and he's trying to get his money back, and I'm currently in a fight with him and eBay right now to not give him his money back, because I didn't send him a dodgy watch. So you got to be really careful of both buyers and sellers on eBay, just be warned. So make sure you cover your own back, and also don't associate cheap with bad, because at the end of the day, this watch right here was manufactured in Russia in the 70s, and it is a solid piece. You know, it looks great, it works, the movement is just superb. This is a Raketa. I just don't understand this association with cheap and bad. As Grobnob said, they're pocket money watches. If you don't have a lot of money, or maybe you've got a lot of bills to pay and you don't earn much money, and you've just got a little bit of spare cash, and you want to indulge a little bit, get a fun little watch, seriously, get on eBay, look for some vintage watches. You can pick one up for like £20 to £50, and you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I'm being serious. Like, I still believe that if one day, let's say all of a sudden I win the lottery, or I get a really good job and I can buy myself a Rolex or an Omega or something like that, I still think I will wear this watch, probably more, because I love it. It's just so clean, it's just simple, it's beautiful, and it just works. And at the end of the day, that's the good thing about these watches. If you're buying a watch from the 70s and it's stated as working, and you get it and it's running really fine, it's losing like 3 seconds a day or something, even like 10 seconds a day is pretty decent for a 70s watch, you know you've got a solid movement that's going to last you another 30 years at least. Like, the Seiko 5s are known for running almost a lifetime. So don't be worried about the quality of the movement. Obviously, if it's stated as not running, probably don't buy it, because it's going to cost you a fortune to get it serviced. Now that brings me on to my next point, servicing these cheap vintage watches. Now, depending on what the watch is, Seiko 5, Citizen Eagle 7s, sort of just like a basic ETA movement, let's say it has, you should be fine. Because at the end of the day, local watchmakers will probably have parts or be able to order in parts for these watches. But let's say, for example, this Accurist break. This is a very old movement and not a common movement, so if the watchmaker was to service this, it'd probably cost you a lot more money, because it's going to be a lot more difficult for him to get hold of the parts. So just be aware of that when buying these old watches. Okay, was just editing this video, and I literally at the end of it, and like a whole, well, not a whole section, but the ending of the video is just gone. I don't know where it is, it's just not there. So just doing it again real quick now. So that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you all did enjoy. Sorry about this random cut, and I can't remember what I said after that bit, so if I'm missing anything, I'm really sorry. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you again in the next video. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy, and leave some comments and all that good stuff. So I'll catch you all again next time, guys. Peace out, take care.